So, last we left off, you guys had landed in the Doom portal and the lands that reside within. Um, you find yourselves on more or less a floating island in the vacuum of space, um, at the very top of a mountain, where for some reason, oddly, several guards had been left into place, namely a some sort of radiant dragon, as well as you don't know if these ones are necessarily even directly connected uh to the indefinite since they didn't have the little symbol on their foreheads that the dragon did, but some little dimensional shamblers that showed you guys just how small you are in the universe. But luckily, before encountering them, you had eaten a hero's feast, ensuring that you were immune to fear, and you were able to dispatch all the creatures in the immediate vicinity. Um, uh, Now that they have been dealt with, the other parties are going through the portal. They land more or less where you guys had also landed. Um, and uh, you can see that this mountain that you have landed on, um, it's it's an island, yes, that you'll need to climb down. And looking further, you can see a larger island where there seems to be much more signs of civilization. In addition, I believe it was Vervain and Demir that spotted not only the the strange arcane dragon cat thing flying overhead over the main island, but the familiar shape of a mechanical dragon.
Boo. Down
Is
with
this
capitalist.
Motherfucker.
is this bitch collecting dragons?
Long said
Collecting
there should be
big
more
flying things.
dragons in Dungeons and Dragons.
In matters of
How
just
many
that much
dragons can
noise.
there be in this place?
Not new dragons every time. The same like three dragons. Just brought back from the dead.
Demir is going to look at the group and the newly arrived group and just um Max and Price is flying around over there, so I think we should probably try and keep it down low if we can.
Eatery speaks up. Um, you said that you encountered something when you landed here. I suspect that we will have to get moving quickly if we do not want to draw further attention. I would be surprised if they were unaware of the loss of the guard.
Agreed.
Honestly, I'm just happy that we weren't scattered across what is now the Indefinite's plane and we all arrived in one location, even if there was some slight time dilation in doing so.
Aldrich speaks up. Suppose that the time dilation is expected. Nevertheless, I'm noticing that there are uh, two creatures flying up above. Um, would you all prefer if we dispatch those? Would you rather handle them yourselves, or uh, shall we go in spells blazing, shall we say?
Well, they might know that we're here, but it may not have traveled up the chain just yet. There might be a bit of a delay. So as much as we can get closer to, uh, can I look around? I mean, we can see like where his wizard tower is. Is there like an area of
Roll
indicating where he might be?
roll a perception check.
Mhm.
So drawing in the dirt, you said we have a little mountain that we are here. And then there's the larger area that you said had a tower in the center.
Nope. But Lish is
I
rolling
got a
for
20.
that right now.
I got a 26. I'm looking
26.
for sources of power, big lights, towers around where the creatures are flying, things like that.
There doesn't seem to be a tower,
Okay.
but there does seem to be a central location um, of a sort. Just judging by
Mhm.
the different types of building and terrain you can see.
And you said there were different sections that were kind of different styles.
Yep,
How many sections?
you'll have to get closer to see.
Lish, Ravain will kind of point in the direction of the kind of centralish location that he's noticing and say we should start making our way over there. And does that appears to be where the dragon and big cat are around?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have to
Is our
face them, it seems.
is our floating island away from the mainland or above the mainland?
It's a little bit away.
So we gotta fly from our island to the big
Nope.
island.
There is a bridge down below.
Nice. Let's
Do
go check the
we
bridge out.
do we
Yes.
want to go through a choke point, or do we want to spread out and see what we can do flying?
I
Not
think we
everybody
should.
has flying, so
Yeah,
sorry,
I
Avery.
think we should probably try
Hey, look,
and
a better image.
get as far in as we can without alerting any more guards. See, basically, if we can get as close as we can to the center before we all have to split, that would probably be a good idea.
Also recommend against flying at the moment. We don't know how much the gravity of this space will pull you downwards. Likewise, it's a very convenient way of ensuring that we will be spotted by the sentinels. And Big Voklu seems to be kind of looking down, says,
There seems to be a lot of tree cover towards the edge. If we can head that way, that we can ensure that we won't be spotted by them flying.
Can a member of one of the strike teams who is a druid or a ranger afford to cast Pass Without Trace?
I have it prepared,
I
so
was
I
gonna say,
could. Does anybody else have it?
I don't think you took any druids or rangers.
I don't know.
You,
Who
you
else would
decided,
have it?
yeah, you decided against Offsea.
No. Don't want him to die. I have it prepared. I can cast it if we
Uh,
want it.
there's no limit on how many people can affect as long as we can all fit in a 30 feet circle or 30
Yeah.
foot radius circle.
Everyone get cozy.
It
Uh-huh.
would give us just a little bit of cover as we make it to the forest.
Um, for let's see. Mm-mm-mm. When we're crossing the bridge, Avery, is it a single file looking bridge or is it a bridge that we'll be able to get onto kind of in clumps?
You'll be able to clump it, but you'll need to actually go down to the bridge to get there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm fine to I can cast pass without a trace, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody has a
So
+10 to their stealth.
at this point, I would love for anyone that casts a spell to roll a D100 for the wild magic effect from this point onward.
Okay.
43.
43. You cast Grasping Vine. Who do you want to grab?
Um, uh, does it hurt somebody? I don't know what grasping vine is. It just an entanglement
It,
spell?
it's just kind of a grab and pull you closer spell.
Oh, yeah. I grabbed Toby. I pull him in.
Oh, okay.
Come here, big boy. You get a hug.
Irvine, this is probably not the time.
Hey,
Isn't
look,
it
you gotta take
though?
advantage. Doing the
Coward.
wild magic. Ugh.
It means all casters should be prepared for some shenanigans.
Free spells, free spells. Fairy fire is one of the wild magic spells, I think. So we'll just have to be careful that we're not lighting up or blowing up.
Wait a second. We have a person with experience with wild magic in the party. Isn't Faklu the wild magic barbarian?
Yeah, but she's not a sorcerer. She doesn't know how it works.
Yeah, but she
She
would
just
be
knows that
familiar with
weird
some of
shit
the
happens.
effects.
She knows that weird shit happens when she gets mad.
Beautiful.
All right. So you guys head down the mountain. Um let's see. Who is taking the lead here?
Are we mixing the strike teams or keeping people as a unit?
Probably still as a unit. I'll be more towards the back though, so I can get more people behind us in the pass without a trace bubble.
All right.
Doesn't it just stick after the bubble?
No, you have to stay within radius. I think we're all just moving as a big clump.
Okay.
So it sounds like the roses kind of need to be in the middle either way.
So we get everyone.
Yeah.
All right. So which poor unfortunate victim is taking the lead then?
Uh,
I will note, if it matters any, that I have leveled your selected people to 20, but Aldrich's in his crew are level 14.
Who has an innate flying ability and decent perception? I think that person should go first.
I have flight and, well, I have various different forms of flight and I have a +8 to perception, but I think there
I
might be
think
other people that are better.
I think we need someone who can see if the bridge is got a hole in it and could catch themselves if they fall through the hole.
Yeah,
That's all.
I also have feather fall, so if someone starts to fall, I can also catch them.
Okay, so it sounds like we're blending the strike teams just a touch. Val can be further forward since she has flying, but not the best perception. So probably anyone who is more scouting inclined would go forwards, with some sort of exception for a rear guard, and then we'll put the squishies in the middle.
All right.
All I know is Valk will probably check in with Silzana and see if any of the areas look futury or not.
Well, hard to see at this point, but you guys head down the mountain. So it sounds like if we're gonna have like one of each of each group towards the front. Volk, you said you were going to be close to the front.
Mhm.
Let's see. From Aldrich's group, the tiefling Feldrin has a good intelligence, good for investigation, but a low wisdom. And then their cleric has a high wisdom but a low intelligence. So which of the two would you prefer there?
We could have the investigating gentleman up front, and then we can have someone with a good perception up front as
Okay.
kind of our third member of the apex.
So let me double check because it might be Aaron Sure for the Los Gibbities group. Um, let's see. Gotta pull up homie stats. It's taking forever to load. Um, Aaron Sure has okay wisdom but a good intelligence. Gregor has about actually the same wisdom as Aaron Sure. Um, Zolzana has a good wisdom and a good intelligence, but she is a ranged-based fighter. Let's see, where is Big Voklu? Big Voklu, not as good for either of those stats. Okay, but not great. Eitri, good for both wisdom and intelligence.
Then probably Zilzana and I can hop in front if something comes up.
Okay. So I will have Zolzana, Volk, and Feldrin.
Thief man.
Vault perception. He's non-binary.
Thief them. Thief person.
So Feldrin got a 15 for investigation. Captain Zilzana got a got an 8, so she's not doing so good. But what about you, Volk?
A 13.
13. Okay. So You and Feldrin can see this a large sort of shape at the very other end of the bridge. It's uh I mean it's very big. It's got kind of like a mix of brown and grayish coloring. And it almost looks like a giant boulder if it weren't for the fact that you can see it breathing. And it has you can almost see like a lighter brown or kind of creamy underside. Um, there are it's a mass of scales and feathers, and it just seems to be resting right now. But it is very big, and it's kind of taking up the whole space. Just beyond that, towards the edge of the forest, you can see it's like a weird mix of it's like a strange combination of like tropical forest and deciduous forest. Um, and you can see that there are there's shapes within it that are immobile. They're large, reaching towards the sky and seem to be made out of metal and stone, but have just been completely grown over with plants and ivy and vines. But you'll have to get past the sleeping thing to get a closer look.
So when Valk notices the sleeping thing, she, lifts hand to get everyone to stop. And is there like any sort of train that blocks line of sight from the thing to us?
Nope. But I would like for Lish to make a history check.
Okay.
While Lish is making that check, do we want to expend some healing resources on those that got damaged in the fight with the dragon before we encounter this thing?
Who needs some heals?
I am currently down about 50.
I got a 4
Or,
on my history check.
I mean, you can have advantage on this because you know, I guess it makes sense.
Okay. 11.
This is a type of creature you haven't seen in a long time. This is a dinosaur. You don't know what
Hell
kind.
yeah.
You don't know what kind, but she is sleeping.
Dinosaur.
Oh my gosh.
We love dinosaurs.
What kind of dinosaur is it, Dual?
You rolled an 11, so
Oh,
you
has
feel like it
anybody
looks
else?
familiar, but it's kind of hard to tell with it facing away from you.
Yeah.
She eepy right now.
Vane is like, oh, big lizard. Oh god.
Are any of the other roses particularly injured from our previous fight?
Levy got a bit banged up. I'm down 30.
I'm down like 70 something. I'm still technically a mammoth, I guess. Well, no. I can cast spells
You'd
from my
have
wild
to
shape.
I was gonna say you'd have to have had an exited mammoth shape in order to cast Pass Without a Trace on folks.
No, I can cast spells from my beast forms now. I'm a magical mammoth, baby.
All right.
The mammoth casts magic with his tusks.
We are all gathered around the mammoth. I can cast Mass Healing Word, but I would need to probably, well, I could either downcast it, but it's not a ton. It's only 44.
You know what's unfortunate?
Or I can cast like the higher thing, but I would need a long rest because that would be the last of my warlock slots.
It's unfortunate. I have had Prayer of Healing prepared just in case of a situation like this for ages, and I unprepared it before we went to the portal because I thought you wouldn't need it.
Well, we have lay on hands and healing hands and whatnot that we can spread about too to take the edge off.
Well, true. The problem is that lay on hands doesn't recharge with a short rest.
True, but it's also an action and not a spell slot.
Yep.
Aldrich gets a little bit closer towards the front and kind of peers at it and says, I think I've read about these. This one, unless I'm mistaken, is a Brachiosaurus.
That type of dragon.
So it's not a dragon, but they don't typically eat meat, if that's what we're concerned about.
So it's just a really big animal.
Pretty much. Have you ever heard of giraffes? I imagine they're similar but bigger.
Has Valk heard of giraffe?
I don't know, have you?
Probably heard of a questing beast, but not a giraffe.
Demir would have heard of giraffes.
Yeah, now I'm like, what is it? Oh, yeah. Demir is going to look over at E3 and just like, that doesn't look like a giraffe, does it? Like, we saw one when we were kids, right? That was not what it looked like. It wasn't feathered, was it?
What, you don't have one in your family's zoo?
It passed away when I was like 15. It was a wedding gift. Apparently they don't live that long.
You have a family zoo?
Well, a menagerie. Not
Adding
really a
that to the
zoo.
list of things that Rahat needs to take me to.
There's something
It's
of a
not a
private-
zoo because it's not public. It's for the
It
royal
is more
family.
of a private garden for the royal family and that stuff.
Aaron's gonna lean onto Demir and say, royal family and very good friends of the royal family?
I think it's E3 you should be asking.
Aaron's gonna go lean on E-Tree.
Well, if you're ever in the area, I think you will be fond of the elephants in particular, but we are getting off the subject, I think.
I'm just going to quickly use my lay on hands to top myself up, since, yeah. Hey, Druid, can you talk to the animal? Do you speak dinosaur?
Are you talking to me?
Not in
I'm gonna
those.
drop my I'm gonna drop my mammoth shape because I have to heal myself.
Well, Bulk's
Did
probably
you just
hey,
call me Druid?
hey, Vervain,
I
do you
have a
speak
name.
dinosaur?
No.
You don't have the ability to talk to animals as a druid?
Not innately.
Fair enough.
I do.
I'd have to cast a spell.
Oh, so it's
Demir can.
Demir that'll go talk to the dinosaur. This will go
Demir
well.
has had to speak with animals the entire campaign.
She said it.
It's
She has
such
it
an
in
often plot
automatically.
point with how often Lish is an animal.
It's how
Yeah, no,
she
Demir
can
has it
speak with me.
automatically. It's just a free spell. It's always up. Like her magic eyes. I mean, are they beasts? It looks magical to me. I don't know.
They should be because I can transform into them.
You can turn into one of those?
Yeah. I've seen them before, haven't I?
Maybe this one's looking for. Mm.
Well, she is
Not for a long
asleep.
time.
Maybe we should try and sneak around her first instead of waking her up. Can we sneak around her?
She is taking up the whole bridge.
Ah.
Well, the whole other side of the bridge, at least.
Goddamn Snorlax blocking the path.
So option A, we ask the animal nicely to move. Option B, we huck it into the void.
We could all hop over her.
Yeah, just
So,
climb. It'll be fine.
whee!
Just the seven
It's
dwarves, hi ho, hi ho. As we walk over the Brachiosaurus, we go.
Before the bridge or after the bridge? Which end is she blocking?
She is blocking the opposite side from the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we'd have to get over there to figure out what to do. Should we cross and then some people can fly over her, some people we can see if we can wake her?
Does the bridge seem like big and stable enough for us all to cross and then kind of just hang out at the end?
Oh yes, I mean the bridge seems quite large, and it's funny. It's yes made out of the same stone that you guys had encountered in Max and Price's factory, um, but it seems to be alternating between looking very fresh and new and looking older and a little bit mossy, like every
Hmm.
glance.
We'll have to watch our steps probably. There's probably some deterioration happening because of the time balances.
Yay, there's time fuckery even here. Oh, that was discordant.
Well, I can try talking to her. I'm not opposed to it.
Well, it's also somewhat dependent upon if she has the mark of the indefinite on her.
Is that something I can see from this far away?
No, her head is facing away
Yeah.
from you.
Well, there's nothing we can do until we get closer, unless somebody has some kind of flying scout that could go ahead and see ahead of time.
Of our wizard friend, Hawk, is that everyone with familiars?
I'm sensing a
Irving
lot of
has a familiar,
implication right
but
now.
I don't think he took
didn't.
him.
I vaguely disagree with calling Aldo familiar, but yes.
No, Aldrich has a familiar.
Yeah,
And
Aldrich
then-
does have like a
And then there's Biog, and then there's your grandpa.
Good
We could
old
ask
grandpa.
Aldrich.
Familiar.
We could ask
He's-
Aldrich
But
if
yes, he
would
could
be
go
willing
check.
Can we send Blue across?
sure.
Would
Do
Blue
you,
be okay?
would you like to send Blue across?
if Aldrich feels comfortable with that,
Yeah.
just to take a look at the dinosaur's face and then come back.
Is Blue flying?
Blue is a Tressum.
Okay, Blue is indeed flying.
But like, stick close to the bridge. Don't go far.
And let it be known that I came up with Aldrich and Blue before Gale of Waterdeep. So they owe me copyright, is my point. So
Wait,
uh,
did Eldrick get it on with Mister then?
you don't know, you never asked.
He,
Um,
he's got a cat girl.
But anyway, so Aldrich summons Blue, and Blue just it kind of takes off and flutters towards the other side of the bridge. She like kind of takes a moment and kind of hovers over the sleeping form of the Brachiosaurus, and then kind of lands on the other side, and you can't see her for a moment, but Aldrich kind of blinks his eyes, which kind of glow blue for a moment so that he can see through his familiar's eyes. And Aldrich just, oh, she has eggs.
Girly
Oh,
Pop,
that's
that's
a
a
bad
bad
sign.
place for your
That's a-
nest to be.
Yeah, poor location to nest. I
Freaking on
wonder
the edge
if
of a giant chasm.
yeah, I wonder if we can convince her to move it.
Baby girl, it's not safe for your eggs here. Can we put you and them in a safer location? Hmm. She
Uh,
didn't have the mark though, right? So
She does not seem to have the mark, no. And at this
well,
point,
we can go
Blue
talk to her.
So
flutters
she's
back.
going to be exactly as reasonable as any nesting mother would be.
Fallouts fails, we could try making our own bridge for the last leg.
The bridge over.
I do have access to a spell that creates walls of force, but it is going to be a little taxing, let's say. The crit takes a lot of magical expenditure, and I can only do so much.
I
That is to
think
say, it's a
whatever we
5th
do
level spell
though,
slot.
I think we need to stop moving. So we're crossing this bridge by foot and then trying to talk to her at the end of it. Yes.
well, words are free. I vote we start with that.
I also
Okay.
have stone shape as well if an alternate bridge is necessary, but
Let us start
I'm
crossing them.
yeah,
All right.
sorry.
Are you still trying to be stealthy to sneak up on this nesting mother?
We have passed without a trace, so I don't know if we have any choice but to
Well,
be
we
And we
could,
can
stealthy.
decide to drop it.
or we could send someone ahead that so they're no longer in the sphere of influence while protecting the main crop of people.
Demir, do you want
Someone
to
you mean
go ahead of
Demir.
us?
Sure.
I would argue maybe send a person or two with Demir.
Yeah, do you want to guard?
Well, I can get back to the group pretty quickly on my own.
You do have your step.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need a guard. I would just kind of leave them behind. So if it goes bad, but I certainly would not object. I just whatever works.
Well, just standing in the corner, sending our biggest extrovert over to talk to the new person. Assess their vibe.
Exactly. I will be the social butterfly.
I do trust Demir to talk her way out of pretty much any situation. That was supposed to be a compliment, by the way.
Thanks. Um, yeah, I can step out and kind of out of the group and make my way over to the dinosaur.
Okay.
I'm going to try and approach as non-threateningly as I can.
All right.
I'd like the rest of us to be making our way down the bridge as well, unless anybody has any disputes to that.
I have no objections. Do we have a way to monitor Demir's success?
You'll probably see the giant
Watching.
dinosaur move.
Fair.
All right. So you start to make your way over to the dinosaur, Demir.
Mhm.
Do you like say anything to announce your presence?
Um, is she like deep asleep?
Hard to say. You've never encountered one of these before.
I mean, like, how heavily is she breathing?
I mean, you watch her for a moment and you feel like you could fit your entire body in one of her lungs.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to stop at about 100 feet. Um, and I'm going to try sending a message, to the dinosaur, just like, oh, hello. Like quiet, like just do. See if it moves, see if it reacts.
It takes a moment, but you can hear the dinosaur just take a deep breath. And a shape starts to move from behind it, rising up. And you realize it's not a separate shape. This is the creature's head on its very long neck. And kind
Uh,
of twists over to look at you.
I am seeing the giraffe resemblance now. Demir is looking up at the head and just hoping that it's 120 feet away from her and casting another message like, hello, I noticed you have a nest there. This is a precarious place. Do you need help?
Her voice is feminine but very deep, and it kind of resonates in your skull and kind of through your bones. Metal shells are too small for me. Predators out in the open don't want to go near the bridge.
That makes a lot of sense. We are trying to get rid of the ones up there. Would you be willing to let us get around you? Or let us help you, even?
Help how?
We can find a safer place for your nest, or we can try and find you a better place to sleep. Or, like I said, we're trying to get rid of the flying predators above. If you let us through, we'll take care of them.
Metal shells too small. Flying predators. do not come. They do
Hmm.
not bother me. I talk of sharper on the ground, running together in packs.
Oh,
Further, no trees for us to eat. Babies will be hungry when they hatch.
of course. That makes a lot of sense. Uh, let's see. I'm going to kind of look back towards the group a little. And I'm going to like send a message kind of conveying um the there are predators in the forest. There are little metal shelves. It can't fit there. It seems like Maxim Price and the flying cat don't come into the forest from what she says, but there is some sort of enemy back there.
Ask if we can pass around her.
Yeah. I'm going to look back at her and just would it be possible if we could get around you? Then we'll leave you in peace. It seems like you have a set situation here.
Persuasion check.
Okay. Do. Okay. That is a 27
27.
persuasion.
Many two-footed ones in bright lighted area. You come from a different way.
Yeah, we came from that way. We're trying to go that way towards the other little ones. We
You do not eat eggs.
No, none of us do.
I will watch closely. And you can see, like, she moves kind of slowly, which isn't terribly surprising given how big she is. But she kind of gets up and moves out of the way of the edge of the bridge. Um, and you can see like there is a little nest there, built from like mud and plants, and there are uh, four eggs there, like most like largely spherical. They're also kind of small in comparison to her. They look like uh they're the size of like goose eggs.
Oh,
Maybe 11 pounds each.
oh. Demir is going to look back up at her and just thank you so much. We'll go this way. And Demir will make a big show of creating a path that goes as far away from her nest as she can. And Demir is going to look back at the group and shoot a message back and just like, she's letting us around, but we have to stay away from her nest.
Oh, but I want to see the babies.
Um, can Demir use, well, how does the nest look? It looks like well built, very clean.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, Demir will kind of gesture to the group and start to lead the way around her.
right. Um, I'd like a group perception check at this point, please.
That would be a negatory from Bulk. She rolled a 7. No, a 9.
Highest rolled a 6.
11.
25.
Aaron's also at a 9 with ball.
Dirty 20? No, not a dirty 20, 17.
Everyone is really, really busy either looking at the eggs or very pointedly trying not to look at the eggs.
All right. If you got a 15 or above, you notice that the mechanical shape of Max and Price has gotten closer, starting to head towards this area.
We gotta fucking get out of here and make
Seems like
sure
we've been
that
spotted.
he doesn't see the dinosaur.
All right.
We're
Yep,
going.
let's
We're
get
booking
out
it.
of here.
We're
Demir
booking
will
it out
send
of
one
there.
last like message, just like another thank you as we're leaving.
Okay. So now that you are closer to the forest, it is uh as I said, it's like a combination of a deciduous forest and a rainforest. And there are buildings within it, which you quickly gather are the metal shells that Mama referred to. Um, and I will clarify here. To your characters, they look strange and foreign, made of metal and broken glass and twisting spires. But to us as players, they look kind of like modern buildings that have fallen into disrepair.
Ooh.
Um, there aren't any humans around that you can see. And the forest itself is very quiet, but every now and then in the distance you can see packs of roaming uh predatory dinosaurs, which you figure is what Mama was referring to. Um uh, but they seem to be keeping their distance. Um like have you ever seen like those pictures of towns that have been abandoned after nuclear disasters? Like there's all
Ooh.
the buildings there and just
Mhm.
been completely overgrown.
Ugh. I
Last of
have
Us Part 3.
the perfect.
Chernobyl core.
So, what would you like to do?
I think we'll
Um,
keep making our way, right? Towards the
yeah,
central area.
It's
I
just
know you guys were talking about taking a short rest.
Yeah, true.
yeah. So, question, the buildings, are any of them open? Are they all like crumbling? Is there any like shelter that we can see? How?
Roll an investigation check.
I'd like to further question if we can see any in the distance.
That's a 25 investigation.
25. Most of the buildings look like they'd be pretty difficult to enter or otherwise dangerous, but you find one that it it looks pretty like it was pretty shiny at one point. Um, and for the sake of our own descriptor, There is a pair of automatic doors that have just been kind of grown over with vines. You're able to like kind of pull the vines apart to head inside if you like.
I think maybe we should get out of the flat area street.
Why is my video camera refusing to turn on?
I think it
Because
has, but it's capturing nothing because your name is displaying.
because I have the perfect reference image for this in one of my favorite art books.
I think Demir is going to try and clear the vines at least. See if we can get inside. At
I'll
least
help
so
with
that we're
that.
not huddling in the open,
Yeah, as much as we can get
There
covered
you go.
is best because I'll have to recast Pass Without a Trace, so it's best to have more cover than not.
And there should be one with a dinosaur in it as well.
I am slightly concerned. I did see the dragon that Price has become gliding this way. It's possible that he's investigating the dragon that we slew.
Exactly. I would like to get out of the street, out of the main area, at least undercover. If Maxim Price is going to find us, he should at least be inconvenienced.
Fair point. I was worried about us being close to where he might have seen us, but if we're hard to reach, then, well, it would be at an advantage if we intend to fend him off or finish him over.
Is the building, when we clear the vines, big enough for everyone to fit inside?
Yes.
Okay. Demir is going to try and come, army hustle in.
Right. You head inside and it looks right now pretty dirty. There's lots of chairs. There seems to be a front desk of sorts. Um, and again, for the sake of our own descriptor, you find yourselves in an abandoned hospital waiting room.
It's a good thing we don't know what this is, because otherwise we'd be creeped out.
Honestly, it's a shame that we don't know what this is because there might be resources in here.
Actually, yeah, good point.
But
feel
we
like if
don't know that. Demir is just going to try and get everyone inside and like kind of prestidigitate a little area for us to be to like sit down potentially, all that stuff.
All right. It's dusty and quiet in here, and I don't know, it just kind of evokes a feeling of absence. Like there should be people here, but there aren't, and the sense of wrongness that comes with it.
Yay! Although, wouldn't we be used to ruins, just ruins that look more familiar?
Well, true. Those ruins are more like crumbling stone towers and stuff.
Yeah.
This has like seats and tables and stuff that are just like around, not even damaged, just in
Asbestos in the
disuse.
drywall.
Asbestos in the
The
drywall, exactly.
the strange alienness of what you are seeing is disconcerting.
Milos is honest, probably just getting
Alien,
back
you
from
say?
break.
Hey, Zilzana, is this
Alien
future
as a
stuff?
descriptor.
I know. Bulk's like, Zilzana, is this future shit?
She shakes her head.
I was about to say, like, this is probably still well into the history books for her.
Mhm.
I know, just we brought her for a reason.
I
I'm
know.
gonna ask questions.
Hawk, as he starts sitting down, sort of just like out loud, and he's just like, to think this is the utopia that Idern wanted to create, or at least a
Actually,
part of it.
best I can guess is that he's using these structures for the sake um, of the plants themselves, so that there can be a source of oxygen.
Hmm.
It's quite smart if you think about it.
Can I
Oh, like on your gear rides, Ozana.
What did you say, Duff?
And just says, "Oh, like on your rides, Ozana."
the oxygen plants? After we've come through the sliding doors, can I just cast minor illusion and like more like green plant look like we haven't disturbed the foliage a little? It won't hold up to.
Minor illusion is a cantrip, so it would take a larger spell to be able to disguise it further.
Yeah, I'm like, I know it won't hold up to like intense inspection, but I just kind of want to like put a little green coloration there so that like on the sweep through it won't stand out necessarily, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, can someone afford to cast plant growth
Yeah, I was
if we're
gonna say,
truly
like,
being paranoid?
something like Druidic would probably be a good idea. We'd have to clear the vines back out on our way out, but it would be a more convincing facsimile.
I don't have any plant growth.
Pretty sure Ryan does.
Big Aaron, the tree acorn.
I do have a just grow a bush. I actually have several just grow a bush.
Not
Uh,
exactly what we're looking for, though. I'm just joking around, but
I mean, if you're not going to use them now, when are you going to use them?
I mean that's true.
Point there.
At
Yeah, I
this,
mean,
at this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Aaron will say out loud that he has bag of instant bush, that he has 5 in his bag of instant bush.
I'm not sure if a door bush would be very convincing, but I appreciate the energy.
I mean, if you want to use one of your bush instant bushes, I think now would be the time.
What's so confusing about an instant bush, Demir?
No, it's the phrasing.
What do
You
you
know,
put against
common's not my
instant
first
bush?
language.
I'll say, I mean, maybe, I can put down a bush and then can minor illusion it to just be a little closer to the surrounding foliage. But it might be easier with that backing.
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5, Ivory, how much space would you say there is to fill with plant matter?
Um, 2.
Wonderful. Yeah, Aaron will pull 2 instant bush seeds, I guess, out of his bag and just kind of like toss them out like he's rolling dice.
All right. Um, they kind of roll out and then just go into a couple of bushes, more or less blocking the entrance to the building you find yourself in.
And
Probably
I'll
wouldn't
minor
hold up
illusion.
under like intense scrutiny, but like if someone were to just kind of glance and from a distance and be like, yeah, okay, there's more shrubbery there. There's lots of plants.
Perfect. I'm going to minor illusion them to look a little more like the vines, and then that's it.
All right. Cool.
Thank you, Erin.
Yeah, I've had instant push seeds for so long, and I've never known a good time to use them. I'm glad to have one now.
All we need are a deck of cards, and we can have ourselves a nice short rest.
I actually have a dice set. I've had it with me the whole time. I've just never had a thing to use it for.
Demir's just like,
It's the
I
use
love
items
Yahtzee,
that
but
are
no
just
one
in
ever
your
asked.
inventory day.
Apparently.
If you have
Anyone wants
anything
to
weird in your inventory, time to use it.
Does this include Lish's weird drugs? Asking
Yeah,
for
we
a
already
friend.
agreed no weird drugs.
The weird drugs are for giving to someone that's being a problem, not us.
I also
Are you saying you're not being a problem?
We just have to save it for the after party.
Either after party or, we just get the Indefinite stoned off his gourd before the boss fight.
Yeah, I think we should just slip LSD into his coffee when he's not expecting it, and I'm sure that that will go great for us.
No. See, what happens is we walk in and we're like, yo, listen, I know you want to kill us, but get us?
We know you want to kill us, but want to party with us first?
What's a joint between enemies? Am I right?
It's my last request. My last meal. I want all the drugs.
My last request. Drugs.
Drogas.
All right. So while you guys take your long rest, a pack of dinosaurs does pass by outside. These are Allosaurus. And they kind of stop and smell the air near you. But can't seem to figure out where you went and to move on their way.
Beautiful, majestical.
This place would be really interesting to explore if we weren't, dealing with a psychopath that wants to destroy all of reality.
Speaking of which, what is the plan? I feel like the two flying things will be a problem.
Yeah. I think perhaps it might be better if one of the strike teams or both the strike teams handle Maxim and the cat.
Run a distraction as when we get closer.
Yeah. The dragon was. We probably should have expected the dragon, but not pleasant to deal with.
We were warned that he would be here. I haven't forgotten.
Well, Maxim, we knew. I was talking about the dragon we killed.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that one.
Bit of an
The one we
unexpected
weren't
glitch,
expecting.
Right. So I guess in hindsight, we probably should have expected that he would guard his front door, huh?
Well, it was depending upon if there was a front door or if we would just get dropped into the realm.
True. We had no way of knowing until we stepped through.
Everything's been a gamble. Now we actually have an hour to plan.
Oh, are we taking a long rest or a short rest?
Short rest.
Short rest is an
Okay.
hour, a long one is 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is anyone using hit dice to restore their hit points.
It would
I
be a
will
good
be.
idea. Now is a
I
great
think
time to do
Tobias
that.
might.
Yeah.
I can either do a Song of Rest and everyone gets an additional 1d6 hit points. I think actually these guys can stack. And then the chef treat, if you eat one during your short rest, well, yeah, 10 people can get an additional 1d8 hit points. So all friendly creatures can get 1d6 hit points, and then 10 people can get an additional d8.
So everyone who got injured in the fight can basically use a hit die to trigger these effects, right?
Yes.
So it makes sense if people did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I need official D8. There we go. I've got plenty of those. It's still not enough. Yeah, sure. I'll spend a. I'm not terribly injured, but I may as well spend a hit die and see if I top myself off. And I can supplement a little bit with lay on hands. I just want to keep a couple points in my back pocket in case we have emergency revive situations, you know.
So yeah, I'll do my little Song of Rest.
All right.
God.
No, fucking. The internet is not behaving for me.
It's been acting weird for me too, in fairness.
Yeah,
I
Beyond D&D Beyond just crashed on me.
Oh, that's helpful.
Weird.
Okay, that's a long rest only, but that's a short rest. That's a short rest. That's a long rest. I believe those are a short rest.
I have used any resources that have short rest recharge. I should have tossed out the divine channel hole.
Onto magic, and that doesn't visualize you guys are from. Okay, so that's a long rest, not a short rest. That makes sense. So I gotta sacrifice a spell.
Like you're casting something or just switching it out.
Sorcerer shenanigans.
Oh, sorcery points, I imagine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I can't swap them around my spell list during a short. It has to be during a long, so I'm not going to touch that. I am going to turn on Murder Acceleration to do that.
So I'm ready to do my haste trick again.
Yay, Aaron's back over 200 again.
I need to share my suffering over here. I decided to spend a D1 hit die, see if I could just top myself off. I only need like 12 HP to get back to full. I rolled 4 total.
Rip.
Yeah. Womp womp. It's okay though. I'll live.
Do we want to do additional strategizing during our short rest, or is there still not much we can do strategery wise?
I am fighting for my life against technology, so I
Hmm.
cannot contribute anything right now. I can't even access my character sheet.
Fair.
Vervain, perception check, please.
Okay. 1 sec. Uh, 25.
25. You hear something large flying above.
Hunkering down. There's something coming. Can I see how close it is? Can I like keep an eye on it?
You rolled a 24. It just sounds like
25.
Max. 25. Yeah, it sounds like Max and Price is in the area searching.
Okay, well, I'll keep an eye out to see if he seems to have locked on to us. But if he seems to just be generally circling, I'll just kind of keep us hushed. I would go, shh, quiet.
So my question to you as the DM is, do you want the Aldrich's crew or Eitri's crew to go against Max and Price?
Or alternatively, if we're just hearing Max and Price, the 3 strike teams can murk him, and then the other 2 strike teams can deal with the cat dragon when we get closer. Or we could peel off one of the strike teams and move forwards.
So you want the Wild Roses to waste more spell slots?
You want the DM to command 16 NPCs against the dragon she's controlling.
Mm-hmm.
This is worse than 32 wolves, because they all have stat sheets. Separate ones, rather.
Look, I'm just saying, if you're going against someone with a CR of like 40, you might want to have more spell slots and not waste them. That's why I had you bring 2 extra teams, one to handle robot dog and one to handle kitty dog.
Do we think robot dog or kitty dog is going to be like a bigger threat? Because there's a pretty big level disparity between our 2 strike teams.
Well, we took out Robot Dog a few levels ago, and a few levels ago,
we mostly took out Robot Dog. I mean,
He did
Robot Dog
run.
is still here.
Yeah, but we fared really well against him, and I do also think by that token, Maxim is an artificer who ascended himself in a sense, like made himself into something different, whereas the Atronach is a literal servant of a god.
Well, as I was saying, we got our asses handed to us by the cat dragon, less so by Max and Price.
I think Eitri and Co might have might have a good shot against Maxim.
So the ones that you brought, including Eitri and Co, the Los Gibbities group, they're level 20. The Protectors, which is Aldrich's group, are level 14.
Right. I forgot about that.
I would say the Protectors probably have the best shot against
Maxim, right?
Maxim.
Yeah, I think the 20s need to go up against Cat Dragon.
I forgot about the
I would
disparity.
agree with that.
I'm gonna be honest.
And also, they have the best chance of catching up to us as well. After taking out something.
And it would be nice to have our 20s with us for any amount of time, if possible.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah. So my vote is to have the Protectors protect us from Max and Price. maybe if the level 20 group has any sort of buff that they can give them before we move on, that could be helpful. But otherwise, that's my vote, and I'll be right back. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Fair.
You
Plus, the Protectors are a bit more of a traditional D&D party, and so, like, it's only fitting that they should be the ones fighting the boss dragon.
So true, though.
Whoever is going to fight Maxim, I will do the inspiring leaders, like temp HP force.
All right.
Makes sense to me.
Is there anything else anyone would like to accomplish on your short rest?
My character
can I-
sheet is still being a bitch, so I don't think I have anything though. Aside from, like I said, I'm going to hand out temp HP, like before.
Okay.
Yeah. Is everybody feeling good now with their HPs? I'm probably gonna heal up a little bit more.
I at least am so fine on HP.
That's good.
I am at my fucking Heroes Feast boosted max right now.
All right.
Aaron would probably offer to do an augury on anything if we want it, but I can't personally think of any questions, and if he does, he can't use clairvoyance. So
It might be a good opportunity to do a scry as well.
that's
Yeah,
a
I
good
could do a
idea.
scry.
Remember, for any spells you guys are casting, we're rolling a D100.
If I use the scrying orb, does that count as casting a spell? If
It
it's an
does not,
item?
but I mean for things like Song of Rest and uh, inspirational speech. Also, what are you saying in the inspirational speech? What are you doing to inspire?
I think what I probably Demir is not like she's not a speech giver necessarily. The way I always kind of imagine it is more of her like going around and making sure that everyone is good, is ready, has like everything they need to do and that sorts of stuff. She's not exactly standing up there and speaking, but she's going around and especially the protectors because they're going to fight Maxim Price. She's going to like go to them and be like, this is what we know about Maxim. This is the history. Like, oh, like, is there any questions? Like, making sure that they are as prepared as possible, basically.
All right. And my next question, I suppose, is do you want them to head out first so that they can be like a very loud distraction? Or do you guys want to sneak out first and then they try to make sure that Maxon stays put?
Oh, that's a hard choice. It would be nice to have everybody as close to the main area as possible by the end. So sneaking might be nice, but also pinning them out farther back would be also very nice. That way, if Cat Dragon breaks loose to go help Daddy, then it can't.
Are there any other entrances or exits in the like hospital lobby that we can see?
Not that you can see. There's a broken down elevator, but you don't know how to operate
Maybe we
it.
don't use that.
What a weird box room.
I press all the buttons on the panel.
None of them light up, and it's really disappointing.
I don't know. Does it? I suppose it could make sense for like maybe the Lustibbities to try and sneak out, and then the Protectors to make a big noise, and then the Wild Roses to try and sneak out. Distraction, distraction, distraction. I don't know.
It's up to you guys.
I think both plans have merit is the thing. Because on one hand, one sending them out as a distraction and then having everyone else go does kind of more so ensure that Maxim is occupied when we try to escape. Whereas I do like the idea of gaining more ground as a group before the split off, but that does also leave the possibility of Maxim calling for backup the moment he sees us. Does anyone else have any opinions? Or...
Everyone's so quiet this morning.
I think you've all got super
My
brain.
my internet's also kind of playing fucking games with me,
Yeah,
so
like
Thank
I've lost
God it's not
access
just
to all
me.
my character sheets and stuff, so it's like
one of the cats just like puked all over the fucking stairs, so I
Oh,
just needed
helpful.
to recruit Anne to help me out with that. So sorry.
You love to see it.
I
I
think we
forget
got it though.
if Lars, Dove, or Mackenzie have weighed in on this.
I don't have any opinion on the matter.
Okay.
So, I tried to respond in Discord, but that's acting janky too. Um, but Lars, if you're here, Demir already told them about the previous fight with Maxim, so they're good.
We'll be briefed. I think maybe the distraction idea is a good one, so that when Max is engaged, we just all book it.
Yeah, I mean, since Maxim's here anyways, and I can recast Pass Without a Trace, we could have the one group go and be a distraction and draw Maxim's attention away, and that will make it easier for us to get up to the main point objective. So, how does the group feel about that? I'll recast Pass Without a Trace on us, and it'll go for 30 feet of sneaking for the bait group, and then they'll throw a fit, and then we'll sneak away.
All right.
Is there
Speak
like looking
now
at
or
and
forever
around
hold your
us?
peace.
Sorry?
I said speak now or forever hold your peace.
I was just gonna say, like, as far as like the landscape around us and like looking up towards where the main apex is, what does the like landscape look like from here to there, A to B, as the crow flies? What kind of terrain are we looking at? What's the trajectory look like?
Well, it looks like you'll be headed slightly uphill, but otherwise roll a perception check for me, please.
finally a good perception roll. I got a 31.
Nice. The next area seems to be very bright. There's lots of
Right.
unnatural light that is very harsh to your eyes.
Okay. It's just a pretty flat uphill though, other than that.
Yeah, more or less. It's gently sloping upward, with I mean, at the moment where you are, it's kind of muddy, dirty.
Okay. How about any vegetation, any trees?
You are in a jungle at the moment with dinosaurs running around.
Okay. Well, but like how, is it like heavy jungle canopy sort of trees? Is it more sporadic?
It's pretty heavy. I mean, there's definitely some foliage, but it does get a little bit lighter once you get towards the next sector.
Mm-hmm. And the next sector seems to be more like rocky again.
It seems to be more metal and holograms.
Oh, okay.
LED lights. Again, as I said, harsh to your eyes. It's unnatural.
Okay. So does it resemble somewhat the spaceship when we were in it?
Hard to say. You are in a hospital lobby right now.
Huh.
So we're peeking on this like LED landscape from afar then.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were looking through the trees and you can see like fluorescent neon lights in the distance. Through the trees and through the abandoned architecture.
How like the apex point where we originally saw the cat and the dragon flying above, is that like very, very elevated above like this like hill that I'm looking at? Like how kind of is it like atop a mound or atop a mountain, atop a like what are we talking about here?
It's a gentle hill. It's not like super high. Like the mountain upon which you landed was higher, giving you more of a.
Okay. Do I still see Maxim Price and the cat dragon buddy around?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Again,
I report my
building.
findings.
We have not left the hospital yet.
That's fine. Okay. I report my findings. There's some weird shit up the hill.
How many people are in the protectors group?
It's like 5 or 6, right?
7.
Oh.
7?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Then everyone but one of the protectors would get 25 temp hit HP. I can only do it for 6.
Okay.
So I would let them decide
Who's the
who.
beefiest guy?
Yeah, who
If
doesn't
the
get the temp
dragon
HP.
hunters, if the dragon hunter squad wants to, like, they can sneak through the jungle until either they find a clearing or they just make a mess of a noise in the trees and like draw Maxim down into the tree cover. Like that wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think. Use some of these metal shells as cover.
I think the best bet is probably for them to kind of go off towards like the for lack of better word, because there isn't no cardinal directions here, but towards either the west or the east and then make a lot of noise.
Yeah. If the bridge is behind us and the objective point is ahead of us, then either to one side or the other would be best, left or right. So I agree.
Our objective is like this gleaming city at the other end of this like stretch of islands, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's only the two islands that you can see.
Right. It feels either way. It feels fitting to call that the North Star since it shines like one.
Mm-hmm.
Just if we need to orientate ourselves like that in the future.
Does anybody need any other hit points or spells or top-ups?
I've already done my hit dice, so
My hit dice are done.
I've got limited spell
Everybody
slots.
leveled
So
up where they
count.
need to be leveled up to.
Levy still hasn't been leveled up, but
Yeah, I nudged Felix about that yesterday. They'll get to it when they get to it.
yeah, so she's at 76 out of 94 hit points. Because I didn't roll great on her hit die. I don't know. I could have her spend another hit die or two, but
Honestly, I say go for it, because
Yeah, I don't know what Levy
once
has
she gets
any other
leveled, she's going
use
to get a
for.
big HP boost. So no
Mhm.
reason to not spend stuff so she has HP now,
And
because she's not
that's
gonna need it as much later.
and that said, like at our level, we have like many hit dice, and we're not going to have another point after the indefinite where we're going to have to use them. So if we're ever going to bottom out on them,
Levy's
now is the
spells are
time.
not hit die based, right? So
There's I don't think
taking
there's
those away.
any resources in the base game and the official like Wizards books for it that use hit
Demir,
dice.
At least not
like I
for
think
like
Demir
a
has
really,
the
melee.
I think I had a monk once who had some sort of spirit thing that involved hit dice,
Yeah.
but that's not really relevant to anything.
Yeah. I think there's
Yeah,
things that scale off the hit dice, but there's things that don't consume. I don't think there's many things that consume them.
I think certain classes use them for special abilities is all I'm saying. So I don't think Levy's build uses hit die for special attacks. So it should be fine.
I think she's like I know she's Rune Child. I don't know what kind of warlock, but neither of those do hit die things, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I got
should
her
be
back
fine
up
if
to
you had.
full.
Yeah, burn them up.
Yep, she's back up to full.
Ooh.
Cool. I think that's it. I only just got my character sheet back, so.
All good.
Yeah. Ooh, and all my bardic inspirations reset. I forgot about that. They reset on short rests now.
Okay. So it sounds like the plan is for the protectors to go first and head in one direction or another and make a lot of noise to try to draw Max and Price's attention, while Los Gibbities and Wild Roses head towards the neon area. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
You want to fight a metal dragon?
As much as I would love to finish him off myself, we have more important things to do.
All right. People are texting me. Okay. So with that, for the protectors. The bard takes the lead. She pulls out her very beautiful and well-crafted uh, a well-crafted harp and starts to play, and she is singing a song in Elvish as she just like starts to kind of march through the forest with the others walking, sticking close to her with their weapons and spells at the ready.
Yeah, if people are heading out, I'm casting pass without a trace on everyone so that they get a little bit of coverage at least before they leave.
All right.
It ain't much, but it's a little bit.
Little scale, and on one side is Path Without a Trace, and on the other side is singing a song out loud in Elvish.
Well, they're trying to be a distraction, right?
I'm gonna roll my D100 for my spell.
Yeah.
Boop boop ba-doop. It's a minor explosion. 2.
A 2?
2.
Um,
I blow everybody up.
You take 1d6 force damage.
I fucking yeet myself against the wall of one of these buildings. Honk.
All right.
Ow. Headache. Are we doing any kind of temporary hit points?
That might be up to Demia.
I'm sorry, what?
Camilla, do
What?
we get sweets and treats for our HP?
Yeah, if you want one, you can have an additional 1d8 to heal with. Or I have 6 temporary hit point traits.
I'll do a temp HP bit.
Alrighty. There's one for
What is that?
you.
Six on top, you said?
Yeah, it gives you why doesn't it say? Sorry. Yes, it gives you 6 temporary hit points. And you don't have to eat it right away. It's a bonus action to eat. So
I'll put it in my pocket. I'll eat it before we go in.
yeah, does anyone else want one? While I'm handing them out. Those gibbities.
I mean, you can give them to whoever you like.
What are the lowest HP gibbities?
Probably tree.
I'm giving one to each tree. I was going to give one to each tree no matter what.
Okay, cool.
One to each tree, one to Lish. If anyone else has any opinions, otherwise I will hand them out as Demir would.
Hawk is a temp hit point generator in combat. So wouldn't the treats be better spent on keeping either the protectors or the Los Gibbities alive? That is, if I'm remembering Hawk's build correctly.
I have ways of passing out more temp HP also.
Max, your mic is muted.
You're
I
muted if you're
forgot
trying
that
to
I
say
tapped
something.
that. That was my bad. I need to stop doing that during calls. Right. Demir has a bunch of ways of doing it. Volk, I think, does it with the channel divinity. You've got like some kind of Twilight aura thing for Twilight cleric that does it.
Among other things, yes.
Yeah. Hawk does it, can do a large amount on one person for Channel Divinity, or does it on melee hit within 30 feet, but it's only 6. And the way that temp HP works, it doesn't stack, but you take whichever when it would be applied, you take either the application or the one you already have, and ideally you favor the one that's larger. So if the treats give a bunch of temp HP, it's still worth it.
Yeah, it only gives 6 temp HP.
Oh,
so.
okay.
But it's a bonus action. It's an easy heal, and
Mm.
if needed, sort of thing. So
I think maybe the protectors would be a better idea then, honestly. Just like a little bit of a buffer to make sure that they get the dragon. And then, because we've got so many other ways of making it that are equal to or more than 6.
Yeah, no hating on the treats. The treats are great.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But I'm also saying like
very
Demir
hot.
herself can also make more than 6.
yeah. Okay, then I'm going to give 1 to Aaronshire. And then the other 3 I'm going to give to Aldrich's party. So 3 for my peeps, and then 3 for the protectors.
All right.
And the protectors can divide it out however they want.
Taking a note of that. All right. Anything else to accomplish on the short rest? Lish, were you going to use the scry?
The orb, yeah, I can use the orb.
Yeah, you mentioned wanting to.
Wait. Let me just double check here, because I might have taken it off to put on the crown of leadership. No, I don't have it attuned anymore. That's okay though.
You can still scry on.
Yeah, you have scry as a spell. It's just not free or chatty.
Do we want me to burn a spell for scry though?
What level
I mean,
spell is
I don't
it
know.
again?
I could always take off my Boots of the Winterlands now and just replace it with the orb. Let me do that.
In which case, that's what you're spending the short rest doing, is putting on the orb.
Yeah, I'll do that during my short rest.
And then technically the scry will happen after the short rest, but that doesn't really matter very much.
We're kind of resting for a while.
Okay, so I will cast Scry. We're casting it on Aduran, yeah? Or on the cat. I mean, the cat might be pretty handy. What do you think? Before I go in, well, who am I scrying on? Aduran or the cat?
Well, you have 3 scries a day. Only 1 is chatty, though. So you could technically do
I
all
want to
3
scry
of
on the
them.
cat first. And then I'll
I'm also
scry on
concerned
Aduran.
about if scrying on Iduran would give away our position.
Yeah, so we should do that one.
Don't know if you can track a person through a scry orb.
He's literally
If anyone can, it'd be him.
Yeah, using the god of magic as a battery.
Tracing magic.
But we've been using spells and stuff this whole time.
Here's the thing though. You can only scry on someone who's on the same plane as you, right?
Yep.
Right, yeah.
That confirmed that we're on the plane.
True.
Sure, but he saw us come through the portal through his dragon, so
He knows that there's an intruder. He doesn't, or a single group of intruders. If the dragon's engaging one group, and then we also scry on him, then he knows there's at least 2.
I'm okay with the
if I was
scry.
Iduran.
I'm okay with the scry as long as we're prepared to move like immediately if need be.
Yeah. And I mean, we've already confirmed that this scry is happening after short rest. So we've gotten everything we need from the short rest sorted by the time this happens. We
Yeah,
Well,
just
sure.
so
I'm just personally in the camp of like not letting him have any information as long as he can help it.
I fully assume he like knows we're here. He just doesn't know exactly where we are, and I kind of don't know that the scry is gonna give him that much more information, honestly.
I mean, truth be told, if he wanted to, he could scry on us.
True.
So,
Honestly, I
like,
think, yeah, I mean, he could scry on us. So,
he may already have. We don't necessarily
Mhm.
get notified, right?
no.
we could always wait until we get closer too. I mean, scry is through the orb is instantaneous, so
Demir,
it's
are you
not like,
still wearing your amulet? I'm not wearing mine.
No, I'm not wearing mine.
Petty.
I had to switch it out for other items.
again,
Um,
I just want to literally be packed up and ready to move just in cases.
I think we are. So this is just the right before we leave. We're going to do like scry on all the enemies.
yeah, I mean, I would scry on the dragon cat more importantly than Idurin, honestly, just because we don't know exactly where that is right now. Idurin will be probably within the apex of all this magical energy, so the cat dragon is not as tethered.
Yeah, it just save Idern for last and we'll move immediately afterwards. That's just Volk's request.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll save the talking one for Idurin's, but I will scry on the cat first, and then I will scry on Idurin.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a charisma saving throw or wisdom.
DC 17 for doesn't say which stat. I would guess. Avery, do you remember? Was it charisma or was it like wisdom?
I want to say it's wisdom.
I would say it's wisdom,
Yeah.
but
It's a
it could be
wisdom saving
charisma.
throw. It has its own set DC. So yeah, it's a wisdom saving throw DC 17 and then it adjusts based on the scry spell, but it starts at DC 17.
Okay. It rolled poorly, so
Mhm.
so we're probably good. We'll just call it good.
Bad kitty.
You can your vision clarifies as you stare into the orb. To see this great cat-like dragon creature. Just a being of pure arcane energy with metal encased around its features. And it's flying above the city, and it's let's see, what section would it be over? Double checking. It seems to be flying over a section of the city with brass towers and steam and train whistles. It's just kind of circling.
Mhm. Pretty high up or lower down towards the tops.
Higher up towards the for now, but you can see like the some of the streets below.
Okay. We'll just watch for a little bit longer. See if I what I'm looking for is to see if the cat dragon circles around towards the apex at all and see if I can like catch a view of the apex at all. Or if
Roll
it's like
a
responding to any instruction.
roll a perception check.
28.
28. It doesn't go towards the heart specifically. It seems to just be kind of like keeping like a low infinity like shape over the steampunk area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But in the distance you can see a section that looks similar to the turning spire itself, as in the town. But obviously the turning spire itself isn't there.
No, it's like some wackadoo version.
There's well, you know that on the prime material plane there's the turning spire itself, as in the tower that floats above the town and rotates. But there's that little platform. You can tell that there is something in that platform area, but you can't quite tell what it is. I mean, like it's a building, obviously, but it's not like a tower.
Okay. And the dragon seems to be mostly just circling around that central point rather than looking for something in particular.
No, well, I mean, she seems to be looking, but she's staying over the steampunk area.
Okay, I will relay this information to the group. She's above the brass area of the city, and she's sticking primarily around there. There's a tower of some kind with a weird building platform. Seems like it might be at least close to the place, if not the place. And then I'll say, well, I will scry on a Durin then. Is everybody ready to go?
Valk's done what she needs to do.
Believe
Eyes
so.
from the crowd.
I
Ready to move on your mark.
I think that I will talk to the crowd, the group that is going to be targeting the kitty cat, and say, I think that the cat dragon will be very closely watching the tower, so we will likely need to distract her. Do you have something prepared that is a distraction? So if you were to break off from our pass without trace.
I can get the black hole on it.
That would be
Seems like
fun.
it will be
That would absolutely
distracting.
attract its attention.
I feel like that would draw my attention, so
I want to see that.
I want to paint
I think we will.
that.
I think we'll start making our way after I'm done with the scry, and once we find a place that's close enough to this brass city, we'll send you off to draw its attention, and then we'll keep going forward. All right.
like an
Everybody ready?
excellent plan. I look forward to engaging this creature in combat.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Gregor.
Wonderful.
Love you, Gregor.
You're an inspiration for us all, Gregor.
Okay.
Aaron sure just gives Gregor the side eye.
What, Aaron? He sees a comrade in arms, a comrade in loyalty.
Or just a freaking idiot, who knows?
Oh, a little bit of everything. Okay, I'm going to cast Scry then on Idurin.
Okay.
Then he exploded.
Right, Aaron?
30.
Why, Durin? Okay, so he saves. That's fine. Okay. So I think I have a general idea of where he is. So let us go.
All
We're
right.
heading north.
Stealth checks for everyone, please.
Okay.
Son of
Natty
a
20.
bitch.
Good thing you have the plus
So-
10 from Pass Without a Trace.
Yep, remember
Oh.
to add your plus 10.
I don't need to bother rolling with disadvantage
Mhm.
because I already rolled a 1.
I got a
It's a
34.
group check. Hawk.
Hang on a second.
Well,
It's a good thing that I rolled a natty 20 and then you rolled a natty 1, so we cancel each other out. With the
Demir
Well, the
and
number I'm
Levy,
about to beat is 5.
Demir and Levy rolled the exact same stealth, which
Oh.
is 21.
Okay.
So,
Lish, your total.
That's the total is 21.
Yes, and you're not Lish though.
I got a 34 total.
Okay. 4 plus
The
max
4 total.
with pass without a trace.
Oh, wait, yeah, 14.
Thank God. I was like, how did you get a -6?
The dice works in mysterious ways.
Aaron got a 19.
Okay. Valk, your total.
12.
Okay. All right. So you guys are feeling pretty quiet as you move through the trees, navigating, avoiding any small dinosaurs that you pass by. Um, in the far distance, you can see Max and Price start to try to break through the trees, but he doesn't seem to notice you guys as you make your way towards the Too Bright area. The trees start to thin until you find yourselves abruptly standing on what the fuck, why isn't this music playing? You find yourself just abruptly standing on pavement. There are buildings all around you and light sources from every direction. It is bright, it is loud, and there's and everything seems to be moving around you. Like there's screens everywhere, with like moving people, moving characters, advertisements in languages you can't understand just popping up all over the place, and bright neon light, and it's kind of like a cyberpunk nightmare. It's neon soaked, with gravity defying monorails and skyscrapers that are held up, and you can see some people around. There are people with like fascinating metal prosthetics or other sorts of implants on their bodies. But they are still affected by the time distortions as well. It's almost like some of them are glitching and repeating actions like corrupted computer programs. And Vervain, for possibly the first time since you've known him, Aaron sure looks uncomfortable with what he sees.
Oh. I'll kind of sidle up to him and give him a bump on the shoulder and say, "Is everything all right?"
I don't like this.
No, it is interesting though.
He like looks very skeptically at all of the artificial light surrounding you guys.
To be fair, Lish, this is probably the furthest you could get from the Feywild.
Well, certainly there's not really any trees or plants or anything like that.
It's all metal.
No, there's no nature here. It just feels dead.
I have to wonder if the purpose behind Idrin stealing of ruined whatever that was, covered in plants, that they're building was just oxygen generation. What could this possibly be used for?
I mean, is there any plants at all? Or is it all metal?
All
Nothing
metal.
even
Metal,
looking
concrete,
remotely like a plant.
No.
Nature is absent here.
Could be a
But
defense.
can I try and like druid craft anything between like the cracks in the pavement?
Roll an Arcana check.
I'm gonna Fern Gully this bitch. They have magical weed killer on the ground. 17.
You're able to kind of coax a little dandelion between a couple of pieces of cracked pavement, but it just wilts almost immediately.
I was going to make a joke about the pollution being so ambient that it just dies, but geez.
I got a 45 on my D100.
45.
Uh-oh.
For the next minute, you are moved 5 feet in a random direction at the end of each of your turns. When you're just kind of like
So
It's
every
every
6 seconds, just like a little drunken stumble. It's like rubber banding around. Like
yeah,
I'm just like I'm like
Just for, like, a
jittering in
minute.
place.
it's like trying to
I'm
play an
glitching
online.
out.
It's like trying to play a multiplayer game with really high latency.
Like you know when you kill an
Sorry.
enemy in Skyrim and they just
Spaghetti.
This is fine.
But
Good news is
yeah,
it only lasts a minute.
not to pull away from the antics of cyberpunk dumb, but Valk her autism is probably flaring up worse than it has ever before because welcome to overstimulation. And
Oh,
she
yes.
probably vomits in a trash can, honestly.
It's a sensory nightmare.
I'm familiar.
You go over and vomit in the trash can, and a little ad pops up trying to get you to go to some store that doesn't exist yet. And you try to swat it away, and like another 12 pop up.
Yeah, Valk's in hell. I thought I'm gonna have nightmares of this place. At least it'll be a good mix up from nightmares of Borislav. There we go. That's his name.
Focus on one of us if you have to. On the bright side, with all this cacophony, I don't think the Atronach's going to be able to pick us out.
Demir is like a rave kid, just like looking at all the lights and stuff. Are
Your
they
ADHD
magical?
is enjoying itself.
The
Oh yeah,
light,
Demir would be able
are
to see if they're magical.
Like, are the lights magical?
no.
No.
They're not arcane in nature.
That's fun. Those aren't magic. They're really pretty for not being magic. How did they do that?
Probably similarly to the lighting in Zelzana's ship, I would imagine. Might be electricity powered somehow.
This does look similar to some places I have been. Not all have this type or this much.
Do you have a guess at why our enemy might use this?
It really depends. I do not know as much about him, but he could be aiming to disorient or even trying to find some way of advancement. I do not know.
I appreciate the guess. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Zilzana. You can see Valk is like rearranging her cloak and her crown to cover as many of her eyes as possible.
Poor girl. Too
Yeah,
many eyes.
autism and too many eyes. She is in literal hell for her.
Literal all-seeing cloak by default, but only the downside.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, it's not as bad as the Feywild, actually. It's actually really, this is pleasant in comparison.
Speak for yourself.
Is it now?
Everything in the Feywild was magical. Everything.
I see. Never mind.
Mirror saw.
You
The
turn
dirt was magical. The air was magical. Everything was magical.
although aren't you able to turn that off?
No, can I?
Here's a hint. Yes.
Air doesn't know that.
Perfect.
Ryan's gonna like pull out a blanket and be like, "Buck, do you wanna like?" And he's just gonna kind of hold it over her.
Put a pashmina around her head.
Literally put a cloak over the bird so it thinks it's night.
All right.
And will very awkwardly put a blanket on Valk.
Let's keep on towards our North Star. I think the sooner we get through this, the better.
And also be leading Valk.
Thank you.
You start to make your way, assuming that your goal is north. Start heading in that direction. And a person runs up to you. They seem to be half elf, maybe, kind of hard to tell, but their head is shaved and they have some sort of metal circuitry on their head that goes to their eye. And in addition, they have two metal prosthetic feet, but they seem very like frazzled and harried. And who is in the lead here?
Not me.
Not Valk. She's mothballed.
I mean, Demir can be near the front.
Okay.
Demir.
I probably put
Aaron.
myself in second for third place.
So this person runs to you, Demir, as you're in the front, and like they're like shaking and they're like looking around and they just kind of grab your shoulders very suddenly and say, "You weren't here last time. Is it the same? Is it the same everywhere?"
Same what? What do you mean?
Everything keeps repeating. I can't stop.
Ew.
Probably.
It's a known problem. We're trying to fix it.
Yeah,
I can't move. I can't break the pattern. And with that, they just vanish.
Oh.
If we stay here long enough, they might come back.
Yeah, maybe.
If
This
they're
is part of their loop.
If they're truly stuck in a loop, then I don't think that any
It's
guidance
not
we
gonna
offer them will stick.
help.
Well,
The way to help them is to
Oh.
keep on moving as fast as we can to get this sorted.
I'm going to do just like a cursory look around and see, like, can I see where that person came from? Do I see them again?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I think the best thing to do for these people is to solve the problem.
Well, we certainly can't wait because my past without a trace will not last forever.
Yeah, let's go.
I'd like to formally put on the table that I fucking hate it here.
Yes.
You
I would say
are
that's an understatement.
you are not the only one.
So you continue through the neon-soaked streets. And there's all sorts of strange vehicles that just keep like moving past you and then stopping and then going backwards, uh, in a way that you're pretty sure they're not supposed to. But you eventually arrive at a junction of glowing streets. It's wild because the roads kind of rise and fold in geometric patterns with signs made of lights blinking in indecipherable code. The paths hum with faint music of advertisements or whispers and almost arcane sounding machine speech. But once you reach this junction, something flickers in the middle, and the rather large form of a woman appears. She seems to be about 7.5, 8 feet tall. But she has sort of a shaved hairstyle. She seems to be very tall and slender, wearing a sleeveless gown with a cape and a transparent hood. And she appears in shades of pale, like violet blues and tones of purple and blue, and maybe hints of light pink. And her eyes don't have any irises or pupils, but you can tell that she is looking at you as she turns.
Do we know her?
She's completely unfamiliar to you. And you can't quite tell if she's human or elvish or something else.
Does she appear to be real or a hologram?
She seems to be a hologram.
Ah.
My inclination is to keep it moving, unless she moves to stop us somehow.
Yeah, does it try to address us?
Yes.
Or just stare?
Oh.
Yes. She looks at you and she says, "You are not supposed to be here." Like her voice almost kind of glitching.
We're moving along.
You may not continue until I calibrate your narrative vector.
Or what?
And like she's still like directly in front of you, but like a holographic map appears and it looks similar to the kinds you see on like public transportation, but it's three-dimensional and frankly it looks kind of similar to like that little pipe screensaver that that you'd see in old computers. um You are a temporal anomaly. You have broken the flow of the life energy of the cyber magical systems. And she starts to like kind of trace some of the pipes.
From our perspective, you're a time anomaly.
And you can't read the map. It's just fucking. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Maddie.
Everyone says hi, Maddie. Sorry about that.
But you can't read the map. It's just fucking incomprehensible and says, "You must describe, and I will interpret the correct path."
Oh.
We're
Do you
heading
know how to
north?
get to the center?
Like, she just very fluidly turns towards you, Demir.
Yeah. The center of all the time anomalies here? Do you know how to get there?
State yourself.
What did she say? I'm sorry.
State
State
yourself.
yourself.
State yourself? We need directions. We are the wild roses.
Incomprehensible. State yourself.
You can call me Demir.
She looks at you, and you get the feeling that like you are being read. And she says, "Every lie has a sibling dressed in truth. Only one leads you home, the other leads you inward. Which path will you walk?"
The path with the most time weirdness?
We
Inward.
probably want to go inward. We are
Inward.
not looking to
Inward.
get home yet.
Is that correct for you?
Oh. I mean, I just want to get the problem solved. Sure.
Are you being truthful?
Uh-oh.
Truthful is a little hard to say with Demir. If they're asking about like doing introspective work, then yes, that's a lie. If it's more about like what path do we take sort of thing, then Demir is genuinely trying to figure out the path, but yeah.
You need time to contemplate. And she turns towards Irin. You burn with regret. Regret takes the silver corridor, but silver leads to isolation. Choose. Would you be whole or wise?
Oh shit. Oh god, I felt like Demir's was easier. It wise, I guess. Then I'm more likely to be able to deal with this.
She kind of looks at you and is reading you. Are you more focused on your life path, or are you thinking in the short term?
Aaron's thinking very short term. I think he's kind of on purpose trying to not conceptualize of too much of a future for himself right now. Like, he's got a drive of after we get out of this, it'll be nice, but specific images are something that are going to distract him right now.
You need more time for contemplation. She turns towards Hawk. The path of iron forgets the hand that forged it. Will you walk it unshaped or break it with intent?
Break the iron or break the path?
break the path.
I know what path lies before me. I don't need another to shape it for me.
Complete. And you can see direction the hologram takes and kind of traces a line on the map, which begins to glow. She turns towards Valk now. You wear your past like armor, yet bleed through every seam. Must I ask, who are you beneath this steel? Is Lars there?
Yes, sorry, thinking.
Contemplation.
Because I have multiple layers of bullshit I'm having to work through to answer that.
Maybe that's the point of these fucking questions, you guys.
Yeah. She's been like muttering and doing repetitive actions underneath her blankie. And when the AI breaks her out of her, self-soothing, she kind of just goes, pain, things hurt.
Are you saying
I want to belong.
Okay.
I don't belong here, but I belong with the roses.
Complete. And similarly, as she did for Hawk, she traces a line in the map in front of her. She then turns towards Tobias. You fled a path once. Did it grow thorns in your absence, or did you?
To ask a clarifying question, the path that he left, that's the path that has grown thorns, or like the AI asking, was it the path that he left that grew thorns, or him, or it, like that's what it means when it says, did it grow thorns?
Did the path grow thorns in your absence, or did you?
I would say that I grew thorns myself.
Complete. And she traces the line on the map. She then turns to Vervain. If duty chained you to a star, would you burn for others or pull the sky down with you?
I would burn for others.
Complete. She traces, and the map as she traces is glowing brighter with each person. She turns towards Levy. Do you wear your name, or does it wear you? And Levy kind of thinks for a moment and says, well, I'd like to think I wear it well, because I did pick it out myself. And the hologram says, complete, and traces again, and then turns towards you again, Demir.
Well, I suppose the answer would be inward then.
Are you being truthful?
Yes.
Complete. She traces again. Aaron.
He's gonna take a breath and say, I wouldn't change the unhappiness that has led me here. It's led me here, but I want to be happy, and I don't think that that's selfish of me.
Complete. She traces. The map just kind of flares. You will find your way clear. And then looks at you all. As the roads almost rearrange around you, opening a corridor towards the next area, with the cobblestones seem to be made out of light and almost memory, and the hologram gives like a short bow and says, "Every story feeds the archive. Yours burns." And then she vanishes.
Thank you.
That was fucking weird.
Didn't like that.
Have to ask Zozana if she knows anything about that when we meet back up.
She mentioned an archive. Perhaps she's a librarian.
Why is it always the creepy, weird ladies we encounter that are forcing us to introspect and all of that stuff? Like, is it not just enough for us to be passing through?
Maybe she didn't want to know if we were ready.
Ichoi kind of elbows you, Damir. Like, well, one would think it would do a little good every so often.
Place like this probably needs a therapist.
I just don't understand what the point of all of it is, that's all.
She might be left over from Mistra. She might not be indefinite.
Rosanna speaks up. Could it be, as Valkyria says, could also be some sort of glitching security system?
What a strange glitch, that.
Strange security system.
Artificial intelligence is unreliable sometimes.
If from Mistra, her realm spans time, and so help people from other times makes sense. Can we leave?
I was about to say, let's move on and get out of this chromatic steel nightmare.
And starts pulling Volk along.
Please.
That
It did kind of look like Mistra.
That I think will be a good place to call it for now. So before we get into the next section of exciting things,
It's the indefinite variety hour.
Woo!
That was cool though.
Forced Demir to be introspective, why don't you?
When push comes to shove, you will have character growth and you will like it.
I gave you Snorlax. The other end of the spectrum is introspection. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules.
Oh hey, at least he didn't make us go back to the portal and go on a small quest to get a flute.
On one end of the spectrum is like deep inner work and introspection and therapy and growing and changing and all that stuff. On the other end of the spectrum is Snorlax.
Actually, isn't the other end of the Snorlax spectrum, just another Snorlax.
One has maxed speed EVs, the other has maxed attack.
One is an unstoppable object.
The other, the immovable force.
Oh
I mean, have you seen that thing use Giga Impact? It's scary.
my god.
Or pancake pile driver or whatever it was. That was the Z
Yeah.
move where he wakes up, gets anime
Oh,
light
God,
up
yeah, hang
eyes,
on.
and then
There's got to be a
fucking
GIF of that in the
crushes
GIF
your
thing. I'm gonna
Pokemon.
find it.
Anyway,
Anyway.
are we going to play again in June? I think we're.
Let me get the calendar. I'm going to be out on the 21st, I think. No, wait, the 28th.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Kenzie's out for the month.
I'm gonna be gone basically until the 5th. So that'll be the week before the finale. So I mean, I don't need to play if you guys want to keep going for the days that are still
More
open.
fun if
So no
we
worries
wait
about
for
that.
everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
And if
I'd
it
rather
have,
us
like, a day
I'd
of
rather
us
us be
sitting
queued
there.
up for the finale to go kind of as smoothly as possible with little to no lead up into the fight as possible, because I just feel like the time is going to be tight. So as much as we can knock out to the finale, then the better, I think.
Yeah, I think the 5th will be fine. That should give you enough time to get to where you're going.
Isn't it
And
the
then get set
7th?
up for the final E.
Yeah.
So the real question is, do we want to come up with an alternative activity for the couple of weekends that we're missing people? Or do we just want to say, oh, those can be Cards Against Humanities or what have you?
We can figure that out later
We
as
can
well.
chat about it in chat.
Yeah. If we
Yeah.
end up needing the 13th, then the Saturday, the 14th would probably be a pretty good rest day. We could all, yeah, I do know, and because I'm also guilty of this, that we still have things to fill out for the upcoming stuff as well. So
Yeah, because I mean, if Avery or if our lustrous DM is out on, what was it, the 21st you said?
Something
I mean,
like
you
that.
guys, yeah, you guys, I don't think you're going to be available on the 14th, right, either. So it'll be the 28th and the 5th before the finale. So if you guys wanted to play those 2 times,
oh wait, is
then go
finale in
for it.
July?
Yes.
I misread that as June. Okay.
Oops.
Nope.
Whoops.
Finale in what is that, like
Next
Next
week.
week
5
on
days?
Thursdays.
Yeah, I had that.
Oh.
Whoops. Oh well.
Nope.
I'm glad I cleared that up now.
It's July 11th. Oh no, wait, hold on. I'm in the wrong thing. It is July 11th and 12th, and tentatively the 13th if we can't wrap up everything by those times. So we will have Levy and Felix for the 11th and the 12th. We will not have them for the 13th. So anything with Levy needs to be wrapped up in those 2 days. But yeah, there's 2 weekends it seems that people would be available except for me. I will only be available that on the 5th. So
We can figure things out as we go too, as usual.
yeah. I mean, it's basically just make sure that the team splits properly to go fight the cat dragon and then making the rest of the way up to the apex.
Yeah, I imagine it's pretty much time when we have said
Cool.
like that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I did have a question for you guys because I have a little art piece that I'm making for everybody to have a copy of for the finale. I'm curious, like size wise for the art piece prints, what kind of like size would people be interested in if I, did the same size, like we could do like a regular paper size, or I was thinking doing somewhere around like 11 by like a little bit smaller than 11 by 17, so like kind of like 2 pieces of regular sheet paper size. People
Is it
be
horizontal
fine
or
with them.
vertical?
It's landscape.
Okay.
It's like that one.
Yeah.
I've got a
So,
lot of wall space, so I'm not particular.
Yeah.
Go off.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't
I'd
want to
like to
burden
get mine
anybody with a
framed.
giant print.
Hit me with a giant print, please.
Okay.
I'd like
They're
it to
not gonna
cover
be
the
too
garage
big, but-
door.
I want my art print to take up the entire back wall by my dice. So
I want
I don't
to
know
be,
if anybody
I
needs
want
to
it
see
like
it
as
that up
big as
close.
one of those like tissue paper things they have at the beginning of football games, so like I can run through it.
No,
And in
no.
fact, that's what
I don't.
we're gonna do for the finale.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to see it that up close. I don't think the the
I'm gonna
resolution's
make
not that high.
strangers
So.
on the street look at it. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, look what I got!"
Look at it. Look at it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to get a read on like if a certain size was too big, because I don't want to make something too huge that no one would want to store.
Well, poster frames you can get actually pretty cheap.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm not worried about you guys being able to like find frames if you wanted them, but I'm just like trying to figure out what size to make the prints. So
I've still got some
sounds
prints that
good.
I need to put up.
Be able to
Come
see
to think
Vane's
of it,
individual nose hairs.
I wanted to
I'll
see the
only give
shape of
Aaron nose
Tobias's
hairs.
abs.
I too have been working on art, but it's been really slow
Ooh.
because arms.
Very fair.
So it goes.
Cool. Well, thanks for playing, guys.
Good to hang.
thank
Good
as
to
always.
hang.
you.
I'll see you next time whenever that happens.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and end of June and then early July.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye.